Hi everybody. So I'm going to get right into this week's topic, which was chosen by Kelly. Hi Kelly, I'm glad that you're doing good after your surgery. So this week she wanted us to talk about cyberbullying, which I feel like we've talked a lot about bullying on this channel, but I'm not really sure if we've zoned in on like cyberbullying specifically. So Kelly was inspired to do this topic from an episode of Catfish, which I've actually watched and seen. And usually with Catfish, it's people who've met on the internet, and it's usually some sort of romantic relationship. Well, in this episode, it was not romantic whatsoever, and it was a person who was needing help finding and confronting a cyberbully who they'd had in their life for like 5 years. And the crazy thing about this episode was that it was not somebody that they knew who was cyberbullying them, which I think is what happens most of the time, but it was just a complete stranger who had like tormented this girl's life for years. And she didn't know her. She didn't do anything wrong to her. It was just this person got off on being mean to people. So it was a really interesting episode. If you do not watch Catfish, I suggest you watch that one. I believe the girl's name is Felicia. So this week's question is, have we ever experienced cyberbullying? If so, what did we do? And what kind of advice do we have for people who are being cyberbullied? I don't believe that I've ever been specifically cyberbullied. I was well out of high school by the time that Facebook existed. There wasn't much bullying online that could be done back when I was in high school, and even when I was in college, Facebook was a relatively new thing. So I'm luckily in the generation that didn't have to experience a lot of that. I have, however, been involved in relationships that were solely on the internet that did not end well, and that I thought the person was being a bully to me, and the only way they could do it was cyberly, because that's the only way we knew each other. But it resolved itself really quickly, and it was never, like, I think the stereotypical cyberbullying. It was just the fact that our relationship was through the internet, so that was the only way that I could be talked about. So, but I would say if you're encountering an issue that is specifically malicious and targeted at you, and especially for no good reason, I think as somebody who has experienced just bullying in general, you know, hindsight is 20/20, and I wish that I had just told somebody about it. And I think that's the key to cyberbullying, is telling somebody. And it's really hard to tell somebody, because you either think that they're going to make it worse, that they're not going to be able to do anything, or that by you admitting you're being bullied, that they're going to think less of you in some way. And that was the issue that I had growing up and being bullied, was I never wanted to tell my parents or anybody who was a role model in my life, because I had such pride built up in my head that I didn't want to be perceived as somebody who needed to be bullied or deserved to be bullied, because a lot of the things that I was bullied about were things that were legitimate. You know, yeah, I'm overweight. Yeah, I'm probably not the prettiest girl. I don't wear a lot of makeup. I don't have stylish clothes. I'm not a cheerleader. So I guess in some ways I felt like I had deserved to be bullied. So I would say that that's the hurdle, is telling somebody. And, you know, I think nowadays, especially with cyberbullying, there are so many new laws and practices that are being put into place that really protect people from being cyberbullied, that now is the time where you can tell somebody and something really can be done. You know, police can intervene. There are charges that can be brought. There are actual crimes in the books that, you know, people are committing and can be, you know, get in trouble for. So I think that's the key, is to find somebody. And even if it's just a friend who you want to tell, and maybe they can intervene on your behalf, you know, that's my top advice, is to tell somebody, and somebody who can help you out. I think here on YouTube, we always talk about getting trolls. My favorite troll ever was somebody who posted on one of my biggest beauty projects that I had fat fingers, which I didn't really take too seriously, because I really don't think my fingers are that fat. Like, my ring size is a size 6, which is like the average for a woman. So I never really took it too seriously, but when it came to that, I always just deleted it and moved on. And thankfully I've never gotten a comment that was too hurtful. on any of my videos. I've had people talk about me in videos that were pretty hurtful. So that's the extent of that, and I just confronted those people. That's what I have to talk about. That's what I have to say. I hope that everyone is having a good week and that you have a really good weekend, and I'll see you next Friday.